Okay, so I've had a few requests to show the solo mode of Crown of Ash. So I'm going to do that today. We're intent to do that. The solo mode is much the same as playing a two-player game, so you set up the board fairly similar. You each start controlling two regions of the board, as you would in a multiplayer game at two players. Difference being, on a normal multiplayer game, the Citadel would start being controlled by this NPC king character here. On solo mode, it's actually started occupied by the AI player, who is playing as Vizio, or teal. I'm playing as Moors, who's pink. This is also how we determine the difficulty of the game. So we randomly draw a fighter from the tiered fighter decks on the turn tracker, and we place one in to decide the difficulty. So there's 3 tiers, tier 1, 2 and 3, easy, medium and hard effectively. So I've picked the medium here. I just drew one and that's what we got. So the differences to a two-player game would be the AI doesn't use resources. Instead, they have this tracker card here, and you put one of those resource cubes on just to show there. And what happens is each time the AI recruits, it recruits from this tier and it descends, and obviously the tiers get stronger and then it returns back to the top. And how it recruits is it'll go through some actions on an action card, and when it needs to recruit, it always recruits the leftmost. So it'll recruit this one, or this one, depending on the tier on the card. So it doesn't use resources. Whenever it uses a standard resource space, where it would normally gain resources, instead of gaining the resources, it gains the victory points for the resources. So that's a key difference. The other difference would be the AI plays all of its fighters completely open, so you can see what it's got at all times. It always fights with the strongest possible pairs or sets of fighters in the middle. But the combat cards, which it has to play as a normal player would, are randomly shuffled, and you draw one each time. So there's still a bit of mystery there, but it's a bit more of a puzzle because you can kind of see what you need to get a bit more clearly than you can in a multiplayer game. The AI decides what it's going to do by first rolling a dice. So it rolls a dice, and whatever the dice roll is correlates to the 6 regions on the board. So 1 would be in the volcano there. If I rolled a 6, it'd be the mountains, and so on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So nice and simple. You roll the dice. Okay, got volcano there. Then I draw one of these random cards, and it tells me what I'm going to do. So in this case, if I own, or if the AI owns this tile, it's going to instead attack the Citadel. If it owns the Citadel, it can't attack the Citadel. It then moves to this action here, which is use the resource space, which would be the one on the dice it rolled, would be on the volcano, and then it will recruit a fighter according to that tracker here. If it doesn't control that space, say I controlled that space, it would attack me. If it doesn't have any fighters in hand, or something happens, it means it can't stack, like 2, it's already been attacked twice, it will then recruit again. So basically, recruiting is the default action it does when it can't do anything else. So on all these cards, there is an action from left to right, always ends up recruiting. So if it can't do anything from further left of the card, it will recruit. In this case, if it can, it will build on that space. The reason it hasn't got one of those control icons is because it effectively applies to these uncontrolled regions as well. So if it was to roll for the forest or the coast, it would build on that space and take control of it as a normal player would. If it owns the space, it will build on top of it as a normal player would. If it's on lands on one of my spaces, it will move to recruiting and using the resource. So same with this one. If it controls that space, shown by gold here, it would build on it. If it doesn't, it would attack it. If it can't do either of those, recruits. So really simple. I mean, this gets shuffled 3 times during the game. But effectively, it's shuffle, draw 1, go, okay, it's doing that, does the action, then this gets moved off to the side. So by the time it gets to the last one, you can try and remember what it's done more of, and you can try and guess what it's going to do next. It gives you little hints too if you're good at that kind of thing, but it's not necessary. So that's how it decides its actions. But other than that, it will act just as a human player would. It will place its workers onto the board. They'll take up spaces as they would on a multiplayer game. They'll attack you. They'll use up resource space. They'll use your resource space, and you'll get rewards for that. They'll recruit fighters. It's a fairly good sort of mock human player. Okay, so as it's we can get started. So as it's a solo mode, I will always go first. I got to decide what I want to do. So one difference I forgot to mention was fate card. So this is a card, endgame scoring, gives you additional points for recruiting fighters from these two kinds. So at the top here we've got quite a few bone and ash fighters, which is good for us. And each time we recruit one of these, we'll get points at the end of the game. The AI doesn't use one of these cards, so this is a key way we can gain some points on the AI. So I'm going to put that there face up, and I'll take note of that. So looking at what's available to recruit, I think my first move, I want to get some ash or some bone. Looking down here, there is this, which gives me 4 ash, and if the AI uses it, I'll get 2 bone. That's great. Or there is this one here, which gives you a mix, but I think looking at what's available, I think I'm going to lean slightly towards bone, ash just for now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to build my first action, place my worker onto the build space, pay the 1 gold required, back to the bank. I'm going to build this tile, and I'm going to build it onto the forest here. And I'll immediately take the resource shown in the middle. So that's 4 ash. And I can use those immediately, so return them straight back to the bank to recruit this guy to my hand. Perfect. I'll replenish that from the deck. Oh, another ash fighter, that's good for me. These are all points, end of the game. Okay, AI's turn. Roll the dice, it's a 6. Going to deal with the mountains, and is going to, that's my space, it's going to attack it. So it's only got this little weedy guy, but he is stronger than what I've got in there. So I'm at a slight disadvantage. So the AI is going to shuffle the combat deck there, and 1 extra card down. So this is what the AI is fighting with. As a defender, I can't add another fighter, but I do get to pick a combat card to defend with. Not too worried about losing it this stage. So he's got 2. If he rolled a dice, the maximum possible points he could get would be a 6 on the dice roll, and the 2s would be 8. I need to match that to win as a defender. Do I risk it and use... I mean, it's unlikely it's going to get a 6 on the dice and get an 8. If he uses a 4 card, he'll still win if he uses his 4. But I think I'm going to risk it, because if I lose with that, I'll get a nice reward for losing. So actually that won't be a bad thing. Okay, I'm going to use the 4. So that's what I'm defending with. I've got a score of 5. The AI has got just 3. So the AI loses, and I win. I gain 1 resource of my choice. Place my card there. I am going to pick a sulfur. Actually scrap that, I'm going to pick a blood. The AI just discards its combat card, and this moves to the graveyard. Okay. So, my turn. I am going to... I would like some more ash. I want to take this as quickly as possible. The reason why, when the AI controls the citadel, every time it would attack the citadel, it recruits instead. But also, denying the AI those points early on is really good for me. So I want to try and recruit enough to take this. This guy's pretty appealing. 2 blood and 5 ash is what it takes. He's an ash fighter, which will add to my points, so I'll add 2 victory points at the end of the game. But I'm a long way of getting it. I could get 4 ash here, which would help. I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to go here. Oh, I forgot to take control of that. I will. My bad. So I'm going to go here, it's my own space. I could, if I wanted to, amend the fighters in there, but I'm not going to. I think it's well sort of defended enough. So I'm just going to take my 4 resources here. But then we might play them. I could recruit this one straight away. That might be good to pair up with that one. I think I'm going to do that because the AI is, assuming the AI is going to recruit, they're going to recruit that one. So actually, I'm going to do that. And the AI instead will recruit that one, which is better for me. Okay, AI's turn. 6. So, mountains. What did they do last time? They would build if they control it, they don't. So exactly that. It's going to instead use that resource space there, which will gain me a bone as I control that. And it will recruit this fighter here. Okay. So one thing you can work out, because you know it's going to recruit the leftmost fighter, I could have left that there. I took a bit of a risk taking, I guess, because it was a level 1 fighter and now it's been replaced with a level 3 fighter. So you can kind of set it up and leave the fighters, the weaker fighters there for the AI to recruit if you want to play that savvily. Okay, so use that resource space. The AI, as it's used that resource space, instead of gaining the resource, it gains 3 victory points. 1, 2, 3. So that's one of the key differences. Every time it uses it as an action, so that's not when it uses the combat card or when it builds, but as an action, 3 victory points. Or however many there. If you use this one, it'd be 4. If you use this one, it'd be 2. Okay, so what am I doing? Have I got enough power? I've got 4 with it being paired up, but I also get a bonus for going in first and attacking the citadel. So that would mean we'd be quite even. We both have 5 strength. Can I recruit one more thing before? So I could use my gold as a blood. I've got gold and a blood, and I just need 3 more ash to get this one here. So I could use the AI's ash there. I'm going to do that. So I'm going to use a worker onto the AI thing. The AI does get the victory point for when I use it, which is not good, but I think it's worth the risk. I'll get 3 ash, which I'll immediately spend with 2 additional ash, a blood, and a gold, and I'm going to recruit this one to my hand. That's good too, because the AI would have recruited that one. I mean, I replaced it with a stronger one, but it allows me to pair up potentially 3 fighters of the same kind, which every time you pair up a fighter of the same kind, you get 1 additional victory point. If you do multiple, if you do 3, you'll get an extra 2, not victory points, sorry, combat score, which is really handy for controlling the middle. So, do that. What's the AI going to do? 1, the volcano, and it is going to... You can't use the resource space because the resource space is taken, so instead, if it owns it, it's going to attack the middle, but it can't attack the middle, so it's going to move on to this one, and it's going to recruit again. So it would use the resource space here, and if you can't use the resource space in there, it goes around clockwise, so it would use this one, which no one controls here, but it blocks it. It would gain 2 victory points for doing that, and then it's going to recruit a fighter. So it's going to recruit a tier 2 fighter this time, and it is this sulfur fighter. Banish that, and we move the track down to show it's going to recruit again next time. Okay, so this is my last go. I really want to deny him this if I can, so I'm going to try and do that now. So how I'm going to do that, how much strength do I put in? So just putting these 2 would give me 7. Being the first fighter there would give me 8 points, which is a good advantage. If I add this one in, I'll get another 1 for the combat score here and another additional point. So that would be so 6 plus 7 plus the kind 8, 9, 10. So I'd have 10 points versus the 5, which means I could potentially try and use my weakest combat card, which I think I'm going to do. So I'm going to use this, which would be that. So 2, 4, 8, 9, 9 points, if that's right. Yeah, 6, 7, 8, 9, yeah, 9 points versus, and that plus 1 there is 10. 10 points versus 5 and dice roll. This is the only thing that could have killed me. So if it gets a 5 or a 6, I lose. You can't make it up. Okay, so I have lost, which is really annoying. But, oh well. So, I mean, it was the end of the round, so I'll get all my fighters back almost immediately. One thing I can do, because I lost with my 0 card, I could either choose to return one of these fighters to my hand, which as it's the end of the round now is kind of pointless. So instead, I can choose to cause a casualty, which would be really good, because I can basically force the AI to discard this fighter, even though it still retains control of the citadel. It will lose control. It will lose the fighters, leaving it completely empty. So I'm going to do that. So, not all bad. Okay. Sorry, AI's got one more turn. Ignore that. Going to the volcano again. Very popular. Okay, it controls the volcano, so it's going to build on it. That's not good news. It builds the rightmost tile, which is this one, for free. Places it there, and always amends the fighters with the strongest possible pair, which would mean it's going to take both of these and it's going to add this guy into there. And that's it. So right, end of the round. I think I had an okay round. It's hard to tell. I think the AI did well too. But so we add up the victory points here. Actually, I'll take the workers back first. Right, so victory points. I get 1 here, I get 2 for here, so that's 3, and here I get extra ones, 4 points. The AI gets 3 points for here, it's 2 for that top one and 1 for every tile below it, so 3 points for there, 1 point for here, but because it controls the citadel, it gets an extra 3 points, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so it's on 13 points. We replenish the building deck from the bottom with 4 new tiles. All fighters from my graveyard comes back into our hand, which is good news for me, but it also means these come back into the AI's hand, and he's managed to pair up 3 of the same kind, which is trouble. Okay, so I start again, and I'll move the turn tracker on. I think that's off camera, so apologies for that. But the turn tracker effectively looks like the round tracker. It looks like this now. So at the end of this round, 4 victory points will be scored for owning the citadel, which I'm hoping will be me. What I could do is leave it completely until the end, my last go, which would mean less chance of the AI taking it back. But it will mean that the AI will probably recruit a lot more. I think I'm probably going to leave it, see what I can do in the meantime. So, what am I doing? I have no gold. I have 1 bone. This guy would give me victory points at the end. There's only 2 bones, so I think I might try and aim to recruit him. I do want some gold, and the best way to get gold is to attack stuff. Because getting that before the AI builds there would be also advantageous. I think I will go to my own space here, get 3 bone, and then use 2 of those bone immediately to recruit this guy. There we go. Now, AI, what are you doing? 3, village. So, village, and its last card is going to be, would attack the citadel, but instead it's going to use the resource and recruit. So uses the resource, which gets 2 victory points, and then recruits a fighter, and it's a tier 2 fighter. So it's recruited this one. And now the next time the AI recruits is going to be the big guy, this one. Which means maybe I have to reconsider leaving the Citadel, because if I take the Citadel, like if I'd taken the Citadel, he wouldn't have recruited, he would have attacked me, which might have rewarded me with points if he'd lost. Well, even if I'd lost, I would have got not points, but some resources. So we've gone through all 5 cards now, so we're going to shuffle them and place them back down. Okay, what am I doing? So I'm going to try and take some... This is really well defended. It is the highest scoring building on the board, but it's too well defended for me at the minute. I'm going to try and go for the village, I think. So, yeah, I'm going to try and attack the village. I'm going to just use these 2 guys. 2 really guys. Just trying to work out if that's generous. 6. I mean, the Citadel's empty, so if I put 6 strength into there, I guarantee myself, pretty much guarantee myself an attack if I use anything on my 0 card. I've already spent my 0 card, so if I just use my 1, I'll guarantee and I'll get an extra bonus for being the first person to attack it. I will get the bonus for pairing these fighters up, so that would be 6, 7. I couldn't lose with that, so let's keep that combo. I'm going to use these 2 to attack the village. So that I'm going to use my weakest card here to get the best reward, and the AI is going to use a 3. So I win that one. Uses his 3 card. Moves to the graveyard. Loses control. And these 2 go in there. Defend it. So get my 2 gold, and then I can recruit if I want to. I could use a gold to recruit this one, but I think it's not going to do much for me at this stage. I'd rather keep the gold to build, I think. Okay, see what the AI is going to do. 4. So, desert. It's going to attack the Citadel if it could. Again, it's going to recruit. This is why it's going to hurt. I just recruited the big guy, so I probably should have taken the Citadel. And it's going to use the resource space on the desert, which gives me a sulfur, which is great. And it gets 2 victory points for using the resource. So yeah, not only does it gain victory points when it uses the resource, it also recruits, and it recruited the big guy. It's back down to recruiting a small guy now, but it's tricky. I'm going to need to take it soon. Okay, well, in that mind, I'm going to take it now. So, place a worker here. I'm going to use these 2 fighters. Get +1 bonus here. I'm going to use my... I think I'll use my 3 card. Get me another gold. The other one gets me a victory point, but I don't think it's going to be as much use. So I'm going to use that. So it's 4, 5, 6 being matched up. 7, 8, 9. I get one there, so 10. So there's no way the AI can beat me. But we'll see what it throws at me. So this is the only card that could have hurt me. So what this will do is either returns one of its fighters to its hand. It doesn't have any to return. It's defeated fighters, so it's going to cause a casualty. It basically returns or causes a casualty to the highest combat score here. So in that case, this is going to be returned to my hand, to my graveyard. And only this guy, even though I win the battle, only this guy will be defending it. So, smart move by the AI. And it's there. So now, Citadel is controlled by me, but only with a strength 1 fighter. Okay, AI, what are you doing? 4. Desert. Again, he's already used the resource space there, so that could be trouble. It doesn't own the space, so it's going to attack it. I think I'm going to lose this one. So he's going to use the strongest possible pair, and he's got a hefty hand. So when it comes to selecting them, you always pick the strongest possible two. If in this case it would be these two at 11. If it's a draw between any kinds, you pick the one most likely to, or the one that matches the pair to make it better. So if it was sort of a draw between those, you'd pick these two. But basically, you always pick in favour of the AI. So efficiency wise, he's going to pick these two. Strength 11. There's no way I can win this. So let's pick a card accordingly. Still uses a combat card, of course. It's the last combat card. I have to use my dice, but it's good because the dice means I know I'm going to lose, and I'm going to get 2 coins for losing. So not a bad loss there. So let's reveal what the AI has. It's used its strongest card. So that was 11, 15. A bit overpowered. Oh, wrong way. A bit overpowered for just this measly 1 arrow barrel. So actually that's a pretty good move for me. This goes back up there. This I get my 2 gold for losing. And base this up here. Okay. I think that was a good move for me. I lost a rubbish area, but he used 2 very strong fights to do it. And I got rewarded with 2 gold, which is really good for me. I think I can either try and just get some resources, or I can try and build. I think I'm going to build because it'll give me these victory points I need now. So let's build. I'm going to build. What is there not much of on the board? There's not much sulphur. There's only a few sulphur people up there. There's plenty of bone, there's plenty of ash. Not much sulphur, not much blood. There is some blood out there. I think what I'll do is I'm going to build this 2 blood one. I'm going to build it here and take control of this area. I will be leaving it undefended because I have no fighters to defend it with. But just sort of hope the AI doesn't jump in there and take from me. So I'll gain 2 blood straight away, and I can use that 2 blood. And I'll have to pay for the building, of course, with gold. Use that 2 blood and sulphur to recruit this one here, which would be the one that the AI was going to recruit. Which that would be better for me, so I'm not sure that was a great recruitment, but oh well, we'll see. Okay, AI's last turn this round. 2, the coast. Let's see if he's going to take it off me. Can't build because it's not this, so it's going to use the resource I just did, which is good for me because it means I get to pick one. I will pick a sulphur. And then it's going to recruit a fighter, and it's going to recruit that fighter that we just put out here. And let's move down. So, that's also good for... Okay. And that is the end of the round, so... Let's count up. Let's return the fight workers. And let's count some victory points up. So I get 1 here, get 2 here, so it's 3. Don't have that. 4, 5, 6, and I get 4 for the middle, so 10 points for me, which is great. So I'm on 14 points now. The AI, on the other hand, gets 3 for here and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're slightly ahead on 21. So what am I doing now? So let's refresh the building tiles before I forget, and return our fighters. I get carried away with what I'm doing on my turn. Return a fighter there, and return a fighter there. Okay, so I could do with... I've got lots of gold. I think I might try and build some more. I've got 4 gold. try and build up some of my areas and defend them well, because none of them really are. That one's defended okay. Okay, I'm going to spend 2 gold here, and I'm going to build this over the top of the one I just built. But, oh actually, I'm going to build it over this one, because it gives me the maximum extra points. So this gives me 3 victory points, and then 1 for every tile below it. If I build it here, I'll be covering up a 2 tile, so it effectively only gives me 1 extra point there. But if I build it here, I will get 3 plus 1, I get 4 points. Okay, so I'm going to build it there. I'll get 2 sulphur, 1 bone and 1 ash there, and I can amend any fighters in there I want to. So I'm going to replace this one with this one, which would give me an extra point for matching those kinds. So I can do that as anytime you use your own resource or you build on your own resource, you can amend the fighters in it. Okay, so AI, what are you doing? Oh, sorry, I forgot. I'm going to recruit this at the end of my turn. Just this weedy guy. Okay, AI, what are you doing? You are... you rolled a 2, so you're dealing with the coast, and you are going to attack it. Okay, nope, going to use the resource on it. That's great. So going to gain 2 victory points. Using the resource, I get a resource of my choice. I'm going to get another sulphur. There's method to my madness. Okay. Now I am going to try and get. I think I can do it right. So if I use this one here, which is my own space, I get 4 ash, which is good. Then I can use that 4 ash. Add another one for my 5. I've got 3 bone, and I have to use a gold. And the 3 sulphur I've been working my way towards. Use all of these, and I can recruit this big ash fighter here, which is great because he's worth 3 victory points at the end of the game. Okay. There we go. So, AI, what are you doing? 2. Coast again, you're obsessed. Right, actually, you're finally going to attack the coast. I was waiting for this to happen, because I didn't defend it. I don't think I'm going to keep it. So, I'm just going to use its strongest possible pair. So that made up would be 4, but that and that would be 6, that and that would be 7. It's going to be these two, 7. So, I'm going to attack with those 2. And we've both got all of our combat cards now back, so I'm just going to shuffle the combat cards and draw 1. Put this down on the table. Do the same in mind. Let's see what I want. I know I'm going to lose it, so let's just pick the best reward I want for losing. I might need my 4s, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick the 3, which gives me 2 resources, which is good. So I'm going to pick 3. And reveal the AI has used its 4 card, so really over defended. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's just say I've lost that. Yeah, put that in there and there. And I didn't have any fighters to move to the graveyard, so it doesn't matter, but I still get my 2 resource. So, what do I want? I would like resource of my choice. What do I want? I'll take a bone and a blood and a sulphur. This guy's looking pretty good. Okay, so what am I doing now? I've lost that. And I don't know if there's much chance of me taking it back now. I have got a huge hand of fighters, so I better start using them. Do I go for that one? It's going to get me the biggest gain, isn't it? Okay, let's attack here. going to use these two, which is 11 because they're the same kind. Plus one there. The AI is only a 6 there, so I think I can be pretty confident with this. How confident do I go? Do I go a 0 card plus 3? So they've got 6. If they roll a 6 on the dice, they'd be on 12. A 5 on the dice, they'd win on a draw. So it's a 5 and a 6 on the dice. Every other card is going to lose. I'm going to be really cocky. I'm going to go for the 0. The AI has picked. Here it is. It's the dice. So if they get a 5 or a 6, I lose. Yes. Okay. So I win that one. These get returned. I take it over. And now it's probably a bit over defended, but I also get 3 coins for winning that. So coins are a wild resource, but also the only resource you can use to build with, which is pretty good. It's good for getting resources that aren't available on the board. Okay, so AI, what are you doing? How are you going to respond? 1. Volcano, so see how it's going to respond right now. Just going to shuffle the deck so I confirm again. And they are going to use my beautiful resource space, which is good and bad. It gets 4 victory points for using that. 1, 2, 3, 4. But I get a bone and an ash. Okay. I've got plenty of gold. This is a unique tile down here. So this one, as soon as you build it, you can resurrect a fighter from your graveyard into your hand. Anyone who uses this tile can do the same, but I'll get rewarded with 2 victory points. If the AI uses that, they always recruit back the strongest fighter from their graveyard. Okay, let's go for the sulfur. So spend 2 gold. 2 gold to build this sulfur tile here. I'm going to build it over the top here. So now that's worth 5 victory points. So 1 extra victory point. Also gets me a 3 sulfur I would quite like. Only because there's this guy. And if I wanted to, I could take one of these out to use again. That is tempting, because it probably is a little over defended. But I can just keep building that space up. Okay, so I'm going to leave that. But I need to put one of my workers on the build space. Okay, AI. Okay, 6. So, mountains. And the AI is going to attack the mountains with this one here. So let me get that big old hand of fighters. He's going to pick the strongest pair, which is this one, which is going to be 4. And place them down there. They get +1 for being a matching kind. And this combat card, 2. And I get to pick a combat card. So they've got 4, I've got 1. They've used the dice, used the 0, I think. Can't remember what else. I think they used their 4 as well. Do I? Well, let's go dice and let's see what I can do with this. So, I'm going to roll the dice. I've got 3, which is rubbish, and they've picked 3 as well. So, 4, 7, I've got 3. So, rubbish, but I do get 2 gold for losing that. Goes my graveyard, hands. There. Okay. And that would have gone there. Right, so let's have up some victory points, shall we? So I get 1 here. I get 1 here. Oh, sorry, this is AI. It's 1 here, 2, 3, 4. So 4. So we're slowly slowly like reeling it back in. It's now at 31 victory points. We've only got 14, but we're going to get 5 for here. 6, 7, no, sorry, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and we get 5 for the middle, so 15 points. So we're crawling back. We're at 29 now. 29 to 31. So this all comes down to this last round. I think we're going to do alright. The Citadel's now worth 6 victory points in this last round. The AI may come back and take it. We'll see. Got this solstice shadow coming on now here, so it's getting serious. Alright, last round. Let's return all our meeples. And let's redraw the tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4. And return all the graveyard fighters. Now this is where I'm going to be a bit stuck because lots of my fighters are out on the board and the AI's got a hand like that, which is definitely enough to take back the Citadel. So we'll see what happens. So what am I going to do first? I need to get recruiting some fighters. I've got lots of resources though, which is great news. So I've got plenty of gold. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go here. I'm going to get 4 ash. Yeah. And I'm going to use 4 ash. I've got 1 in my resources, so that's 5. I'm going to use a gold to make it 6. And I've got 2 sulfur and 1 blood, and that gives me all the resources I need to get this one here. Nice. Okay. Right, AI, what are you doing? 6. So the mountains, and it's going to attack the Citadel. I knew that was going to come up. So as it's the first person to attack the Citadel, it gets +1 attack score. So it's going to be 5, 6, 7, 8 versus my 1, so I cannot win this. So that's not a great time to lose a Citadel. I might be able to get it back. Let's use my weakest card. I know I'd get a better reward with this one, but I just don't know if I need the gold yet. Gold and resources are worth victory points at the end of the game now. For every 3 matching resources, you get 1 victory point. For every 2 gold, you get 1 victory point. So it is still worth getting gold in this final round. But I'm going to use the weakest one, so just 1 for me. So that's combat score of 2. The AI is going to use a 1, which is, yeah, it's rubbish. Rubbish for me. But yeah, it wins that. Takes back control of the Citadel. This goes to my graveyard. But it's used all its fighters, but that doesn't mean it's going to be recruiting again. And if I want to take it back, I've got a slight disadvantage now. So that fighter looks appealing. 4 ash, 2 bone. Annoyingly, I fused the ash. This one's 4 bone, I have 1 bone. If I go here, I can recruit that. That will give me a victory point in the end. I have 2 sulfur and a gold, so if I went there, I could get that with 2 victory points, and it's a 4. Okay, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to go here, which will reward the AI with a victory point. But I'll get 3 bone, and I can use a bone from my resources, a gold, and then 2 sulfur from my resources to recruit this fighter here. Okay. AI, what are you doing? 4. So, 4, desert, is going to... Desert is its own, so it would attack the Citadel, it owns the Citadel, so it's going to use the resource space at 4, which gets it 2 victory points. 1, 2, and it's going to resurrect the fighter. It's on 2 fights, 9 is going to resurrect this one, which is pretty strong. Okay. This is worth 4 victory points. That's worth 5, they're good. This one's super over defended. I'm happy to leave that. the AI hasn't been doing much building, which means it's super. I think I'm just going to use some of my gold to build. Start racking up those victory points. So let's do that. Spend 2 gold. What do I want to build? And where? So again, that's the most defended. But I can add in fighters to defend. This is only worth 2 victory points. I get 2 additional victory points if I built on top of that. But I am using that ash quite a lot. If I build this one, it'll give me a silver, and if I leave these in my... If I don't use them, they'll give me a victory point at the end. So that might be worth doing. I mean, this one will give me a victory point at the end too, but it feels like it's less useful because the extra cube would be no... Yeah, the bone's more useful too, so I'm going to use this. Build this over top of here, spend my 2 gold, and I will get my 3 bone, 1 sulphur there, and I will add in more fires to defend it, otherwise it will get taken. So, if I add that, then that is defended by 7, which is more than enough. I've still got a strong fire in my hand. Okay, we might win this. We might win this. This is looking good. So on the cards, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The forest. So let's see what happens in the forest. Wood build doesn't control it, so it's going to use the resource. It can't use the resource there, so it goes around clockwise. Can't use it there. Here. So that's great for us. We get a coin and a resource of our choice. I will pick sulphur, and it will gain 3 victory points, 2, 3, and recruit a fighter. It's going to recruit a level 2 fighter, which is here. That's taken up by a level tier 1 now. It's tier 2, so it would go to the next one. But we're out of tier 2 now. Okay. And we shuffle this again. Finish that. Okay. And next time it's going to recruit a big guy. Okay. Last move of the game. I've got to make it count. Can I take back the citadel? So it's defended 5, 6, 7. It's the last chance to do it. I've only got 6 in fighters. It's worth 6 victory points. Might be the difference. I've got to try. Go out. All guns blazing. Alright. So I've got to go here. 0 point bonus. I've got 6. So I have to be there. It's got 7. I am going to use my 4 card I saved. So that gives me 11. No, it doesn't. It gives me 10. AI has 7 plus their final card, which I can't remember what it is. I'm hoping it's weak. I do not remember. But let's see. So, reveal. 0 card, which is good and bad. So, what will happen is, it doesn't cause it could either cause a casualty or return a fighter. So in this case, it's going to return a fighter because of the same. These go to the graveyard, and these come in, and I do win the citadel. Okay, I get 1 resource of my choice, which I'll take a sulphur, which will give me an extra victory point at the end of the game because I've got 3 now. And this will move to top. There you go. That's actually the last of my cards, so we're going to reshuffle. So anything can happen in this last round. The AI has all of their comic cards back. It's got a handful of fighters, and all of these have now been shuffled as well, so anything can happen. It could go straight back and sit down and beat me right back. So we shall see. Okay. So these come back to me now. Okay, so let's see what the AI does. Last move of the game. 6 mountains. It is going to. Okay, it controls the mountains. So instead, it's going to go to the citadel. Oh, sorry, resource space, but it's taken. So it's going to go to. So it is going to defend the citadel. So right, that's exactly the kind of sort of climactic ending you want. But it's got -1 points for the third person to attack it this round. So -1 point, but it's going in there with 10, 14, 13 points because it gets -1. 13 points and this. I have a feeling I can't do this. So I've got 6. Even with my 6 dice, I can't win. Okay, so I'm losing. So what will be more beneficial to me to lose? I want a gold, basically. If I get a gold, I will get an extra victory point. If I lose with that, I'll get a victory point. If I lose with that, I won't. If that, I will get a victory point. Let's do the dice. Doesn't matter now. Okay. So I'm doing dice, and the AI is doing a 0 to rub it in. Okay. So I got a 6 too. Okay, so I have 12 points. The AI only has 10, 14, 13. It was as good as it could be. I just couldn't win. Okay, so I did lose the citadel. Right, if that's the difference between me winning and losing, I'll be gutted. Okay, let's put this in. Got the winter sun setting on the board now, which is quite apt. Okay, right, let's add these victory points up and then I can cry. So, let's return these workers roughly. Doesn't really matter now, it's just to clear them off the board. Okay, so here AI gets 1 point. Here they get 2 points. Here they get another 2 points, there's 4, and they get 6 for the middle, so they got 10 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they have 47 points. I am on 29. Okay, I get 5 for this one. I get 4 for this one. This is 9. I get 4 for this one. 13 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. I might just be able to do it with my fate card. I did well recruiting my fate card. So, end game scoring, we get points for resources. I'll show you here. I've got 3 matching resources here. 3 matching resources. I did get 2 gold for losing there. So I get, that one doesn't count, but an extra 3 points. So 1, 2, 3. So as long as I get 2 points from my fate card, I win. I think I should do it. So how we work that out is we take everything we've recruited throughout the whole game off the board. So everything from here, from our graveyard, anything left in our hand. And what we do is we sort it into 2 piles. Oh, I did really well. So take out anything that's not in our matching our fate card. And then we score. So the starting fighters don't get you any points, unfortunately. So I can chuck those away. But here we go. So got 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. An extra 11 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 56 points on normal difficulty. Victory. But that's it in a nutshell. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts. We're still tweaking things, so there is ways of dialing up and down the difficulty that we're considering now as well. So at the minute, picking the fighter that goes into the middle does make a difference. It's a subtle difference. Other things have been like whether or not the AI should also gain victory points based on the resources it would get from the combat card. Yeah, I mean, so still dialing it in a little bit, but if I'm winning, maybe it means it's too easy. But yeah, it's fun. It's pretty close. I really enjoy the solo mode. I'm pretty pleased with it. But yeah, but thanks for watching. And yeah, see you later.